Development for December 5th, Counselor Andrus.
Here.
Counselor Waltney.
Waltney, all right, y'all, planning and development. Wolverton, Waltney, Sims, Nelms. Sims, Nelms are the
Counselor Wolverton. Counselor Sims. And Counselor Nelms. You got all present. You got a quorum, all 5.
Oh, thank you. Okay, did we approve, okay, do we have any minutes we need to approve? I felt like we approved them at the last meeting because and then we didn't do anything at the last meeting.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Is that right?
Well,
We just carried over the only item last week.
So that's just.
Yeah, so
you
there's
carried over, so I did send the minutes out.
You
but that
did
was
send
carried
them out.
over.
Okay,
just that
so
one
let's
today.
just, yeah, let me,
Minutes.
so I have a-
Approved.
okay, so I have a motion from Counselor Sims, second? Second from Counselor Nelms, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes 5-0. Okay, old business 13-11-22, request for an update on Salter Pocket Park, brought to us by Counselor Smith, and I know she has some guests.
Yes,
So-
I have Jacob and Jane from GMC. They are have designed the project, and we did a public input session a couple of weeks ago, and had I don't know about 20-ish people come in, and it was a good turnout, and people had some really good suggestions and thoughts, and then. Alex and I made a few, and Kale made a couple of recommendations for things we thought might need to be adjusted. And then I realized that really nobody on the council besides those of us who've been doing this have really seen the Pocket Park. So,
Want to use the pointer?
oh no, I want you to use the pointer. Yes. No. The
You
brain.
got Jane,
The
Reed
brain
Ross in the
people are
house, yeah.
presenting.
Do you mind signing in? You
So
would-
here
you
it
would
is.
GMC.
This is
I know
Pocket
Jane. I
Park
can
that
write
will
Jane
go
McGraw
on. This is going to go on the lot behind Sanford on Salter. There used to be 2 houses on the lot. We have entered into a long-term land lease with Sanford for the property, and Sanford demolished the 2 houses that were on the property at their cost, which we were very grateful for. And now these wonderful people have come up with a plan for how it should be used. We have always envisioned this as a passive pocket park for people who live in the neighborhood. A lot of people who live over there, obviously, they're very excited about their sidewalks on Salter now, and the sidewalks will eventually tie in by a crosswalk to this park. So, take it away.
You're doing great. Good to see everybody. I'm Jane Reed Ross, landscape architect with GMC. With me is Jacob Ingram, also a landscape architect working on this project. I'll just orient you on the plan. Here's Salter Road, here's Wellington here. This is Fire Lane that takes you up to Sanford. That's east, this is west. And so, the new sidewalks that we know of in the neighborhood are ending right here. And then there's a crosswalk, and we're connecting up with that crosswalk, a new sidewalk here along the park, and then steps that take you up into the upper level of the park, because I think y'all remember that this is a slope along here. So we've got to climb up to get to the top level of the park area. And so probably the ordering device for the park is the sidewalk that undulates through this park, comes back out, and then along the existing drive that used to be the driveway to the house that was here. We're just leaving that because that's a good accessible route up through here, and we'll connect this sidewalk with that drive. The drive will also act as accessible parking space right here.
How many parking spaces?
It's just one, yeah.
The idea again, like you said, to walk to it.
Yeah. We really never envisioned this as a place where people would drive over from. It's mostly people accessing it from the neighborhood. But if somebody did maybe have a child with special needs or some reason to need to drive up, that would give them the ability to park. If
That's correct. Yeah, that will give you a way to get there. Off the sidewalk, we have several areas, little pocket areas. This first pocket area is a table and chairs and bench and a little shade cloth structure. We have another one over here, tables, chairs, and bench and shade cloth structure. from this area all the way around, we're reforesting this, cause you know, it's pretty clear. There's an existing tree over here, but we're reforesting it with, a diverse, selection of native trees. Shoemart oak, eastern redbud, bald cypress, sweet bay magnolia, Princeton elm, a nice selection of trees that will enhance this hill. And as you undulate through this walkway, we have a playground area on this side, and then a grassy area on this side. With time, if we need to, and y'all wanna expand on the playground area, we can have playground area in this, but it's nice to have, different, yeah, green lawn to play on as well as playground. And that will be a rubberized surface here with swings and climbing structures and the like. And then we have another grassy lawn here. Now, on this front slope here, we're looking at planting that with pink muley grass. You can see a picture of that, and you probably have seen it. This photo is actually from Railroad Park. Have you
That's,
seen
I,
it?
I saw that this weekend, and I think of you every time I see that grass. I saw it this weekend, and I thought of you.
Well, you know, if you hit it just right when the sun is low in the sky, whether it's morning or evening, it just glows. Yeah, it's on fire.
Yeah.
It's really quite beautiful. So we can see that happening along there, and that would be really nice. And then in this area right here, that's love grass, and that's the same grass that we used in the medians on 18th Street. And it has a golden glow to it, and we've been really pleased with how that looks. And you know, both of these grasses, you don't have to mow it, so that's a low maintenance area. The only grassy mowed areas are right here and here, and that's for, and then around here too. And that's, you know, for informal play, informal hanging out, picnicking, and the like, and then play area here. Would you like to forward it to the next? Who has
Can you
control?
go, Brian, can you go to the next slide, if there is a next slide?
Back there. Jacob, I was
Oh,
thinking
he
you
just
were in
has one.
control of it, but you really can't do that, can you?
So he just says he just has the one.
Do you wanna
Just
send
have
something to
the one.
Brian?
We sent it.
And
Should
Jane,
have
I can't remember, we talked about the fencing because we all are, you know, cognizant, aware of the fact that obviously there's a slope and then you've got Salter Road, which is a pretty busy roadway.
Yeah.
The fencing idea along the property edge, I can't remember what we decided with that.
Well, it's really along this lawn
Okay,
area here.
okay.
So, you know, if this, kids are
That
playing
area.
here, they won't roll down.
Right. And then is that another fence over there on the
This
other
is
lawn?
another fence here.
Okay. Yeah,
It
yeah.
really just, it doesn't go all the way around the playground, it just goes around,
The
you know, so
edge,
you're,
close to the road.
yeah, so you're, you know, if you wanna contain your child.
Yeah.
What is the fencing material?
I was gonna show you a picture of it,
Oh,
if they
he's-
could pull
he's
that
gonna-
next. We have, the next screen shows, a selection of 2 items of every item that we show, site furnishings, fencing,
And
that's, and people were able to vote on what they liked
Oh,
best.
good, okay.
So
Yeah,
we can
people
give you-
put little stickers on things, and it was really interesting because Carrie Carter came in with her son Robert, who's, you know, I don't know, Robert's probably 8, 9, somewhere in that range, and he really got into it. Like the kids were really getting into it because I guess it made them feel like they got to make a decision, but they really did enjoy looking at the different options and kind of weighing
Yeah.
in with
And,
their.
and we've got clear consensus on what people liked, so we do have true direction.
Do you think that sidewalk that you have in there could be used as a walking trail, like people walk?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, it's, I mean, I don't know how much,
Well, you know-
how much distance that is. It's probably not a lot.
Well, not in the park itself, but I can see them walking on the sidewalk and down Salter.
Salter, and then-
do a
yeah.
loop
Yeah.
in the park and then head back
Right.
down.
Yeah, for sure.
Mr. Jones, do you remember how much we budgeted? Sorry.
Do you have a question?
I think it was $1 million. I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah, it's $1 million, yeah.
Do you, well,
200.
275?
Oh,
280.
I guess
that's right.
overshot.
Yeah, 285 is what I think is in the budget currently for this.
Really short.
So
That's
where- yeah,
correct.
Where are we, Did we say how much it's projected?
It's in the neighborhood of 280,000.
There were some initial things that were in the plan that we were able to kind of dial back on, in order to try to keep the cost down, because as we all know, with construction right now,
Yeah.
costs are through the roof. But we made some strategic decisions to kind of scale back some of the things that would make it a little bit.
So you anticipate
and-
staying at the same level, at 280?
That would be the hope.
Yeah.
We had it at 250 year before last year. Did we go to
It-
285
yeah,
this year?
I think, right, didn't we decide it's about 282?
280, I think was in the. is in the-
280 is what it is in
Yeah,
the budget.
yeah.
And this is a concept. So
Yeah.
next is construction documents
Right.
and, you know, we'll
Trying to
like.
figure out where to make it work.
Yeah,
How to make it
Exactly,
work.
Yeah.
and y'all
Like,
know
we
how
with that,
prices
exactly.
are right now.
Yes,
Right, yeah.
exactly, exactly.
So here's the plan, the sheet that shows different options, like shade cloth options, you know, do we want a pavilion, or do we like shade cloth structure? Site furnishings, tables and chairs, I think the consensus, everybody liked the rustic look
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
It's 280.
I think, people were a big fan of the shade cloth structure. You know, definitely more affordable than the pavilion.
Yes, that was one of the affordability
Yeah.
choices, yeah.
You know, as far as playground, structures and stuff, you know, this rustic look really appealed to a lot of the kids. You can see here boulder climbing and, sorry, Walter, my blazer was getting stuck on your head.
Oh, sorry. Don't hurt me, don't hurt me.
Boulder climbing or a tunnel, I think, Jacob, what do you remember, what was more popular? Boulder climbing? Boulder climbing.
Parkour?
And I think that's another thing where we were like, well, maybe we start with swings,
Yeah.
Yeah.
go with some
Well,
swings to start.
And that's the thing, is you can build on this.
Right, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly
whatever
like,
it is,
exactly
right.
like Jane said, like we have the ability to adapt it
Sure.
over time when maybe prices come down and things are a little different, but, yeah.
Here's a fence type, you know, your traditional picket fence, or do, the post fence, very similar to what we did, years ago at, Central Park. This one would be a thinner post than the Central Park post. But, no, it has a nice look, it has transparency, it's sort of artistic and sculptural. I hope that we can do something like this. Swing types, you know, the communal swing versus the individual swings. So, y'all can weigh in on what's your favorite look or type.
So, do you want to keep this, like table it, so she could come back as?
I mean, we could keep it here if we needed to. I think the plan is we wanna go to bid in January, is that right? Am I wrong about that? We talked about that. Kale, when did we talk about
No, I
putting
think
it out
it's
for
later.
bid? Oh, that's right, we said not until like March, right?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
it's gonna take them several months to do.
To get all the documents ready.
You're about to panic me. with
No, I'm not.
January.
Yeah, right, the first.
Who needs
week back.
Christmas? Who needs a Christmas break?
I
Okay,
do.
so Kale, do you think we should just
Jacob does.
keep this on the agenda here in committee?
I was gonna say, the way it's worded, it's more like we accept
The presentation?
presentation, right?
Because
With
we
the
can,
concept.
yeah, because they can always come back, I guess, if we need to, because we're gonna have to come back to when we set the, bid opening date anyway.
Yeah, and then, will that go through finance? That won't, that.
Yeah, that'll go
that
through
goes
finance.
here.
That day we'll go through finance, and maybe then we'll have a more solid cost estimate.
Yeah.
from GMC.
Yeah, yeah,
Jen,
okay.
right now, it's a question.
Yes, go ahead, that's where I'm at.
Would it be possible, because if the single parking space is meant for folks with accessibility issues, that you reserve it as such and make it only for folks who have accessibility?
Is it gonna
think-
be?
I
Because
think
it would be
it's-
horrible if someone with a wheelchair went to the park expecting that there'd be a parking space, and someone who doesn't have those.
Yeah, was it gonna be a
Use it.
handicap
Handicap
space? I
spot?
can't remember.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, okay, so, I
But
mean,
I'm not sure what your question is.
I think he was-
Making it permanent or only for folks who.
I think it was,
Making
I
sure
think
it's a
it was
handicap
meant to be it was meant to be a handicap accessible space.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think
why I
it'll be
just wanna make sure
striped,
that
it'll be
it is
striped
for
for
that.
that, yeah.
Can you go back to the plan?
Yeah, I think it'll be striped, and it has the
Just to
part
make sure
next
that
to it.
someone who wants to. be
Yeah,
able to
so that people don't
can.
just randomly drive up
Correct.
and park. Yeah,
Because they
I
will.
got you. Yeah,
Yes, they will.
yeah, see,
So it is, see, it is an accessible
So we
space.
just-
See the striping there?
yeah, it's got this on the side.
Now, you know, if we wanted to add a regular parking space there too, along with that one, that's possible.
We could talk, yeah, there's room
Yeah.
for it, yeah.
Yeah, but-
I like the idea of keeping as much green space. I I mean, it's your ward, but.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, when Alex and I first met, and when we first met with, I mean, we're talking, you know, we met with the old school folks that aren't there anymore. And the whole idea of this was green space.
Yeah.
And so it has evolved a little bit, because some of the neighbors did want a little bit more active,
Sure.
options, but in essence, it is meant to be a neighborhood, you know, green space, so,
So
yeah.
that was my question, Mary, because
Yeah.
I remember us talking about it as a passive park.
Yeah.
But it just changed.
I
once
think
the
because there's
neighbors
so many people over there, so many people that live along Salter Road and those neighborhoods right
wanted
there.
Access to playground
Yeah, they
equipment.
wanted something for their kids, and because it's not as easy to get across the hill to go to, say, Overton Park or Central Park. So something in their own neighborhood where they could go. But again, it's gonna be very minimal to start with, for sure. Yeah.
How big is the actual part, well, couple parcels that's?
Yeah, how big is that lot? I don't know the
Jacob,
answer to
do you
that.
remember?
Is that a couple
Is it a-
acres or is that more
an
than that?
acre?
Less than
It's
that?
probably,
not that big.
it's probably an acre, right?
If,
If that.
It's probably a little
Just
bit.
it's just a property, I mean, it was just.
Well, let's see, spring is 8/10 of an acre,
Is it? Okay.
so it's probably an acre.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I would move
Oh, wait, hold
to
on.
accept the,
Andrew had, Andy had a
Top
question.
bucket put in there.
Is that Berkeley?
We get a top bucket put in there.
Aw.
No tump bucket, no. I refuse tump buckets in my park.
Jane, how long do you think construction's gonna take when it does get, how long do you think construction will take for a park like this?
Probably 3 months,
Okay.
depending, you know, if it's not raining every day.
That was my concern, was just with the March CDs, delivery, if we can give us enough time to bid it, get the money contracted, get it built before the end of our fiscal year, so we don't have to carry that over to next year.
Yeah, I
And it
think,
gets into work.
yeah, I think we can. I mean, I think
We
we'll
would
be
be
able to.
aggressive though.
Yeah.
If we just issue a purchase order, it'd be a little easier to keep
Okay, I have a
that.
motion from Counselor Wolverton, I have a
We can
second,
issue
second from
purchase
Counselor
order.
Sims, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Tell me the
Okay.
first and second again.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Wolverton, Sims.
spreading love.
That was just to accept the report.
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna have
Spreading love.
And with
pink
that,
and love,
Jesse,
pink
we
and
are
pink
adjourned.
muley.